This is exactly what the San Diego Padres needed in a year where the catching position has brought a grand total of 0 offense to the table. It seems like the solution is presenting itself from inside the organization. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show, where us, a couple of random dudes on the internet, try our best to react, overreact, underreact, and just give you an outlet to talk Padres. If you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. Won't ask you again. Let's go back to talking about baseball. I do apologize on some of this. I don't know who I'm talking to in terms of, are you a diehard Padres insider who's watching every minor league game, or do you only consume just the score box the next day on the Major League squad or somewhere in between? So if you have or have not heard of this player, let me know in the comments section. Let me know what you think. But Brandon Valenzuela is a minor leaguer for the San Diego Padres who I think is, let me hear me out. I'm not saying he's Mike Piazza. I'm not saying he's the greatest offensive thing to ever happen to San Diego Padre catching. He is not necessarily the entire solution forever, but the guy right here that you're seeing tweeted about having himself a day is the current, in my opinion, solution for the catching situation, in at least that we need to try something. We don't know what we've got until we take a look at it. And right now, kicking the tires on somebody in the minor league system feels like it costs us nothing. For those of you that are saying, well, I like our catchers, what are you talking about? You lay off Arraez, Diaz, and company. I will remind you where we are at numbers-wise for the guys. This is Arraez Diaz, our main catcher, if you will, the one-time Major League All-Star with the Colorado Rockies. Okay. Yeah, that's an okay season. That's not the best. That's not the worst. That's something that you would probably want out of your backup catcher and not your primary guy. But I always throw out the disclaimer of, with the catching option, it's, you sometimes just, you take a guy because he's the defensive guy. You take a guy because he's the team leader. You take a guy because of X, Y, or Z. So, okay, but then you look at, what is our backup option? Martin Maldonado, who, again, the pitchers like him. Great, okay, he's a vet. You can make enough of a case for some of these guys to be, like, on the team, but when you're doing that at all on all of your catchers, like, the position ultimately is failing you. So these numbers also not entirely fantastic, and that's where I'm saying that throwing up anybody and everybody is better to me than just sticking out with what they happen. But then also you go further down the numbers and you get to Campusano, who right now just is not, it hasn't clicked at the major league level this year. And the Padres have even tried recently bringing him up to just get him DH hacks to see if it can work, because we like Campy, or at least I like Campy. I know some of you in the comments section and some of you on this channel are not the biggest fans of his, but I think he brings a good, fun vibe to the team. And this, though, does not hack it. So the Padres dipping into the minor leagues results in this, in terms of the current guys that we have given a shot to play this position. So that's where I come full circle then to seeing that we have a guy right now, Brandon Valenzuela, who is a Double-A. And again, hop in the comment section what you think here. I think Double-A is not as big of a leap to the majors as everybody would have you believe. There are a lot of guys who, on their rise up to the majors, will skip from Double-A to the major league level, and then Triple-A kind of, you realize, becomes a holding pattern sometimes, or a very gradual, like, you age out of it, and just at some point you got to get up to Triple-A or get out of the game. So Double-A, this 330 slash line right here might reduce down to 210, 215, 217, 235, but I'm saying at this point, what do the Padres have to lose? Injecting any newness, anything. If he can get up there and put a ball in play, it almost feels like that it just breathes some new life into it. And we're doing this at a time where the Padres are really starting to gear up, looking for trading for a left fielder, potentially needing to trade for a pitcher. We've got other videos breaking down, like Paul Skeens, Sandy Alcantara, and all these other options that the Padres are talking about going to get. You can check out all those videos on our channel. That's why I say hit the subscribe button. But when you talk about the Padres potentially being in play for some of those big kind of trade prospects, you don't also have the ammo then to go out and get, like, a top tier somebody type hitting catcher. You have to kind of sometimes find solutions from inside. So that's what I'm saying. This is exactly what the Padres need. They have a guy who, at a time when an entire position is not hitting at the major league level, no matter who they try there, is hitting. And maybe he's not as good as with the pitchers as everybody else is in the current permutation of it. And so maybe we only get him every 3 or 5 games, or maybe he only dials in with just Randy Vasquez or just Kohler or what. Like, maybe it has to be some DH. But I just think that right now the Padres need to make this move of getting a guy in there just to breathe some life in and see what they got and take a shot and just see if, hey, a little bit of a change here. Because if he can come close to those numbers, why not? That's fantastic. I think that that's something that you should absolutely be thrilled for if you're the Padres. But if he split the difference between those numbers and where do we got the Campy stats? But split the difference between those numbers and these numbers, and you've still got somebody who is a net positive for the team. And if nothing else, provides some newness, provides some freshness, provides some perspective that, like, okay, the Padres have a boost at that position. Like, I don't know, just it feels like a win-win all the way around. And that's what I'm saying. This is exactly what the Padres need right now, is to take advantage of a guy internally that's going to cost us nothing, to get him up, get him on the squad, and get things fully dialed in for this team to then be able to make decisive action to fix the last couple of pieces. Maybe he's not the long-term guy. Maybe it's Salas. Maybe it's somebody else that we draft. Maybe it's somebody that we don't even know is on our radar right now. But for the right here, right now, of what the 2025 Padres need, making this move to me is a no-brainer and a great opportunity. Let me know, though, what you think in the comment section. Is AA to the majors too big of a jump? Does this guy need to go AAA for a couple of games? Are you ready for this? Do you want him at catcher? Do you want him at DH? Do you think that it's a bad idea and just leave him down, and that ultimately our guys up at the major league are going to figure it out and are going to make it happen? And so, Christian, just, you're stretching and you're overreacting. You guys, let me know on all of that front what you think, because the Padres, as they get closer and closer to the All-Star break this year, are going to have to eventually make a decision on some of these trades. And potentially 7, 20, 10, 30, 50, 7, 3, 5, like whatever the number of at-bats is that you might need to know about a guy, you want to get them in enough of a time. And, you could, to me, like, if you can get them up for 10, 20 at-bats right now, see, do we have anything? You can figure out, okay, where do we then prioritize the catching position? Same with, like, I've advocated also for Terso Ornelas being called up and sent out to left field and just left out there for a little bit to be like, hey, what do we really have? We only gave this guy 7 at-bats. So that's what I'm saying. I think the Padres have a great chance right here to fix this catching, or at least take a new approach to fixing the catching situation. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. And remember, keep the faith, Padres fans. 2025 is going to just keep on getting better and better. We'll talk to you soon.